Hello and welcome. In this video, we're talking about those word combinations that make English so interesting. This is the 8th installment in our series, and today we'll explore more practical examples to help you build your vocabulary and confidence. If you would, please subscribe. Are you ready? Let's get started. The first example, launch a campaign to start a marketing or awareness initiative. The company plans to launch a campaign to promote its new product. Another way of thinking about this is to begin a planned series of actions aimed at promoting an idea, a product, or a cause. So, launch a campaign. You can see this in advertising quite often. The first example, the company plans to launch a campaign to promote its new product. The company plans to launch a campaign to promote its new product. So this is about a company, obviously, which is a business organization of some sort, and it has created a new product. That product could be something like a new phone, a type of food, a service. It's something they probably want to sell. So launching a campaign in this sense here means that they will start advertising or sharing information about this product to get people interested in buying it. Second example, the NGO launched a campaign to raise awareness about climate change. So in this sense, an NGO, or a non-governmental organization, something like a charity, created a campaign to educate people about climate change. So their goal was probably not to sell anything, but to make people more aware of how serious the issue is, so they might take action or support the cause. So this NGO launched a campaign to raise awareness about climate change. Good for them. Next one is mitigate the effects, which means to lessen the impact. So another way to think about this might be to take measures to minimize harm or negative consequences. So you're trying to minimize negative consequences or harm. Let's take the first example. Measures were taken to mitigate the effects of the economic downturn. Measures were taken to mitigate the effects of the economic downturn. Could you think of any measures that you might use to lessen the impact of an economic downturn? So here, measures were taken means steps or actions were carried out. The economic downturn refers to probably a period when the economy is struggling, such as during a recession. By mitigating the effects, the people involved, likely either the government or organizations, are working to make the situation less harmful. So for instance, they might reduce taxes, for example, provide subsidies to stimulate the economy, or introduce policies to help businesses survive. Let's take the next example. They introduced policies to mitigate the effects of pollution. They introduced policies to mitigate the effects of pollution. So in this case, we're not talking about the economy, we are talking about pollution. So, in this example, introduced policy means they created and implemented new laws or regulations. The focus is on addressing the issue of pollution here. Things like harmful chemicals or waste in the air, water, or soil. By mitigating the effects, they aim to reduce the damage pollution causes, possibly by setting limits on emissions or encouraging clean energy. Next one, facilitate communication. Could you say that? Facilitate communication. That means to make communication easier. So the new software will facilitate communication between departments. So another way to think about this is to create an environment or tools that help people share ideas and information clearly. The first example being the new software will facilitate communication between departments. We can say that this probably means that the software will help improve how employees from different parts of the company or different departments within that company, how they share information, how they work together. For instance, it could include features like instant messaging, shared documents, or video calls. This might make things simpler and faster for them to stay connected and perhaps, coordinate their work a little bit. Let's take the second example. Workshops were organized to facilitate communication among students. That's workshops were organized to facilitate communication among students. Here, workshops refers to probably structured group activities or discussions. And in this sense, the goal is to help students communicate better with each other. This could involve exercises that encourage teamwork, maybe active listening. You ever do active listening in school? Or even speaking in front of a group to build their confidence and clarity when expressing ideas. Have any of you done public speaking? How about public speaking in English? Anyone? Hands? Maybe we should start a workshop, figure out who needs to work on their public speaking skills. I should take that course and that workshop with you guys, for sure. Let's move on. Enhance performance. This means to improve how well something works. Another way to think about this is to make the effectiveness or quality of an action, process, or skill better. So you are enhancing performance. The first example is regular training sessions can enhance performance. What do you guys think? Let's explain this a bit. So regular training sessions can enhance performance. Regular training sessions would be repeated periods of practice or learning, so you're continually doing the same thing. And these sessions help people build their skills, maybe correct mistakes, or even learn new techniques. So by doing this, they can perform their tasks more efficiently, achieve better results, and this is whether we're talking about sports, work, or academics. Next example, upgraded tools helped enhance performance in the workplace. So upgraded tools helped enhance performance in the workplace. Upgraded tools here means better or more advanced equipment or software that was probably introduced in this situation. And these tools make it easier or faster to complete tasks, right? The faster you do things, the faster you get things done, and hopefully you do it well. So let's take an example. A company might replace outdated machines with newer, more efficient ones, helping employees work more efficiently. Hence, what are we after here? Enhanced performance, or to enhance performance. Promote growth, to encourage development or expansion. Another way of thinking about this is to take actions that help something expand, improve, or succeed. So you're promoting growth. The first example, investing in education can promote growth in the economy. Could you think of ways that investing in education might promote growth in your economy or the world economy or in any economy? This might suggest that spending money and resources on education, like schools, teachers, training programs, this might help improve the economy. So an educated workforce is more skilled and productive, as a rule of thumb, which can lead to innovations, better job opportunities, and probably overall, let's say, financial development, right? So let's look at the second example. Policies to promote growth in small businesses were introduced. They were introduced. Who were they introduced by? Who introduced these policies to promote growth in these small businesses? I want to know. Do you want to know? I want to know. Let's explain this a bit. Here, policy means rules or strategies created by a government or maybe some sort of organization that helps government. And these policies might include offering loans, so you can get more money to put into your business. Maybe reducing taxes, right? That always helps. So you're paying less money to the government, you're keeping a little bit more of your money, or you're actually providing training. So the goal is to support small businesses, help them grow, expand, and contribute to the economy. So that's promoting growth. Would you rather have small businesses or big businesses around? You tell me. 2, address concerns. To address concerns. To deal with worries or issues. Another way of thinking about this is to respond to or resolve questions, complaints, or doubts that people have. You are addressing concerns. Do you have any concerns about this podcast? Do you have any concerns? I would like to address your concerns if you have concerns. Anyways, example 1. The manager took the time to address concerns raised by the employees. The manager took the time to address concerns raised by the employees. So, let's look at this. This means that employees shared their worries or problems, possibly about work conditions or company policies, and it seems like the manager made an effort to listen, maybe understand what they were talking about and the problems, and probably provide solutions or reassurance to help ease their concerns and maintain a positive work environment. So the manager seems to have or will be addressing their concerns. Let's look at example number 2. During the meeting, they addressed concerns about the project timeline. During the meeting, they addressed concerns about the project timeline. In this case, someone in the meeting talked about issues or doubts related to how long the project would take, right? It's a timeline. And they have concerns about reaching these goals. They might have explained delays, clarified deadlines, or suggested ways to stay on schedule, helping the team feel more confident about completing the project. But they had concerns about finishing this project on time. So let's see if those were addressed accordingly. Let's move on to the next one. Implement changes. To put new ideas or plans into action. So they decided to implement changes to improve efficiency, is the example. This means they introduced updates to make the processes work better or faster, probably maybe a work environment. They might have reorganized workflows, adopted new technology, or changed rules to reduce wasted time or resources. So, workflows. Have you ever had a weird workflow at work where things just don't work right or correctly? Maybe you have to revamp and reorganize the way that you do work and how things flow. Let's look at the second example. The school implemented changes to enhance student safety. So the school implemented changes to enhance student safety. Here it seems the school has made improvements to keep students safer. This could involve adding security cameras, training staff for emergencies, or creating stricter rules about who can enter the school premises. Let's move on to allocate resources. This is to distribute resources for specific purposes. That's to allocate resources. So that is to assign money, time, people, or materials to different tasks or projects. Let's look at the first example. The government needs to allocate resources more effectively. This means that the government should use its funds, maybe its staff, its supplies, in a smarter, more intelligent way. For example, instead of spending too much money, time, resources in one area, they could spread those resources and money and whatever else they have more evenly so they can allocate resources to their weakest parts. Moving on to the next example, funds were allocated to rebuild the affected areas. So I wonder what we're talking about here. Funds were allocated to rebuild the affected areas. So something happened in certain areas. We don't know what right now. But here, funds means that money was set aside for a purpose, right? So after an event like a natural disaster, the money was directed toward, let's say, repairing homes, roads, buildings, and ensuring that the affected communities recover quickly. Let's hope so. It's not easy to rebuild, and it takes a lot of time after a natural disaster like a flood or wildfires or something along those lines. So let's hope that this community rebuilds quickly and the community rebuilds stronger. Let's move on to the next one. Establish connections. How easy is it for you to establish connections? I ask. What does that mean? To create relationships or links. You establish connections. So this could mean to build professional or personal relationships with others. Some people are really good at establishing connections. So let's look at the first example. Networking events help professionals establish connections. Would you agree? At networking events, people from different industries meet to exchange ideas, share opportunities, and maybe form professional relationships. And these connections could lead to, what do you think? New jobs, maybe partnerships in terms of probably work. But who knows? Maybe partnerships, you find the right mate and boom, you have a different kind of partnership, right? You might get married or have a relationship with one of these people. Or collaborations, which is working together. What do you think? Is it easy for you to establish connections? Next example. She worked hard to establish connections in the tech industry. She is working in technology and she worked very hard to establish connections. Congratulations. So this means she made an effort to build relationships with people in technology-related fields. So she might have attended conferences, joined online groups, or reached out to experts to gain support and grow her career. I don't know. How would you do it? How would you establish relationships in order to get into the tech industry? Or maybe you're already in the tech industry. You've already done that, so you can tell everybody else how you have done it, how you pulled it off, just like she has. Next one, reinforce security. So that means to make security stronger. Another way of thinking about this is to enhance safety measures or protections against threats. So the first example, new measures were introduced to reinforce security at the airport. Have you been to an airport? Have you flown? There's usually some sort of security there, especially in the States. I've heard in certain places in Northern Europe, there's not much security there. This means that the airport added or improved safety protocols to ensure passengers and staff are protected. Let's look at the next example. Additional guards were hired to reinforce security during the event. Additional guards were hired to reinforce security during the event. In this case, the event organizers increased the number of security personnel to ensure safety. So this might have been done because the event, maybe attracted a large crowd or involved high-profile individuals who required extra protection. They would have reinforced security. To boost morale, this means to improve the confidence or enthusiasm of a group. How is your morale? Does your morale need boosting? Maybe there's a product for that. Another way to think about it is to raise people's spirits and make them feel more motivated or positive. Boost your morale. What's a morale booster for you? What do you like? What gets you excited? What gets you happy? Let's think about this for a minute. Okay, you've had your time. So team building activities can boost morale among employees. Have you ever worked somewhere, or even maybe you're a student? What are team building activities? Have you ever participated in them? Well, let's look at it. One meaning could be organizing activities where employees work together. So you could be playing games, doing workshops, maybe going on outings. But these events help create a sense of teamwork and make employees feel valued and happier at work, which improves their overall attitude. What do you think? Are team building activities, do these activities boost morale? Would they boost your morale? Let's look at the second example. A motivational speech boosted the team's morale before the match. So who gave this motivational speech? Probably a coach, right? So here the speech inspired the team and made them feel more confident and excited about playing the game. The speaker might have reminded them of their strengths and encouraged them to believe in their abilities to succeed. And I think that's like almost every sport movie. You have the coach who basically gives that speech to boost morale. before the game. Hopefully, next time you're playing a game, I hope you have somebody there to boost your morale too. Let's move on to the next one. Streamline processes to make procedures more efficient. That is to simplify or optimize the steps in a process to save time and resources. Let's look at example 1. So automation has streamlined processes in manufacturing. This means using machines or software to handle repetitive tasks in factories, right? You have an automated system. So you have machines and software, and they're doing all the repetitive tasks. By automating these tasks, companies reduce errors, speed up production, and save money, making the entire process run more smoothly. That is very much a point, but I think other people have a counterpoint, and they say there's too much automation. They're taking people's jobs. What do you guys think? The next example for streamline processes. Try to say processes about 20 times very fast and see how far you can get. I don't think I could do it. Processes. Processes. Okay, next example. Software updates streamline processes for data analysis. So in this case, new software features made it easier to organize and analyze large amounts of information, large amounts of data maybe, or maybe even small amounts of data, but it's data no less. So this saved time for employees and helped them work more effectively. So they streamlined processes by updating their software, it sounds like. Good for them. Okay, moving on. Cultivate relationships. To develop and nurture connections. So to develop and nurture connections. So this might mean to build and maintain meaningful relationships with others over time. You cultivate relationships. You develop and nurture these connections. It's important to cultivate relationships with key stakeholders. Okay, so this is probably some sort of financial, big organization type of relationship, right? So this means taking time to connect with people who are important to a project or organization, such as investors, clients, or partners. But building trust and communication with these people ensures long-term support and success, maybe, of the business. What are your thoughts? Example number 2. She cultivated relationships with her professors for future guidance. Here we're obviously in an academic environment. So she cultivated relationships with her professors for future guidance. Here, she made an effort to connect with her professors, right? Teachers, by asking for advice, maybe discussing academic interests, staying in touch. Communication is key. These relationships maybe could help her with recommendations or guidance in her career. Maybe she's going to move on and do more studies. So it's really good to have professors and teachers on your side. So, you might want to make good and have some good relationships with some of your teachers and professors because they might be able to help you in the long run. So cultivate those relationships, folks. Next one, foster innovation. So to encourage new ideas and creativity. To foster innovation is to create an environment that inspires people to think differently and develop unique solutions. If you're innovating, you are making things somewhat new, exciting. You're an innovator. Example 1, a supportive environment can foster innovation within the team. So this means creating a workplace where team members feel encouraged to share creative ideas. A supportive environment might include open communication, access to resources, and recognition for innovative solutions. This might help the team generate fresh and effective ideas. How innovative are you? Next example. Grants are often used to foster innovation in scientific research. Grants are often used to foster innovation in scientific research. In this case, funding is provided to scientists to explore new theories or develop advanced technologies. Grants, in this sense, make it easier for researchers to focus on breakthroughs, driving progress in their field. Enhance reputation. to improve how someone or something is perceived. This is to say that to strengthen the positive image or credibility of a person, or maybe a company, or maybe a product. Let's look at the first example. Consistent quality service can enhance reputation, or consistent quality service can enhance a store's reputation, a company's reputation, somebody's reputation. This means providing reliable and high quality service over and over again might help build trust with customers. Over time, this trust boosts how others view the business or individual. That increases their credibility and respect in one way or another. Maybe it's in the market, maybe it's wherever, but you're enhancing your or somebody's reputation. Second example, their philanthropic work enhanced the company's reputation globally. So their philanthropic work enhanced the company's reputation globally. Philanthropic. That is quite a big word. Try to pronounce that a few times if you want some practice on pronunciation. But here, the company engaged in charitable events or activities. So they probably donated to causes or maybe supported communities in need. It seems like these actions created a positive public image and made people around the world view the company more favorably. Navigate challenges. Yes, to navigate challenges is to successfully deal with difficulties. How well do you navigate challenges? That means to successfully deal with difficulties or to skillfully handle or overcome obstacles and problems, right? You have an obstacle, you overcome it. You have a problem, you try to solve it. She learned how to navigate challenges in her career effectively. Startups often navigate challenges in their early stages. Has anybody here worked for a startup? So in this case, new businesses or startups, they face difficulties such as limited funding, finding customers, or building a team perhaps. Or maybe you're part of a startup that just blew up and did astronomically well. But successfully navigating these challenges require probably creative problem solving and determination to grow the business. Optimize efficiency is the next one. So to make processes as effective as possible, to improve how resources are used to maximize productivity and minimize waste. That's what we're looking at. Example 1, the new software helps optimize efficiency in data management. This means that the software, whatever they've purchased or whatever they're using now, allows the company to handle data more effectively or more efficiently, in other words. So this might automate tasks, organize information better, speed up processing. It might save time and effort for employees. Example 2, the factory optimized efficiency by adopting a lean production model. Lean meaning probably nice and slender and not much waste on it. It's lean. Here, the factory introduced a new method of production that reduced waste and streamlined workflows. So here, the factory introduced a new method of production probably that reduced waste, maybe streamlined workflows, and this change helped the factory produce more items in less time and at a lower cost, so it optimized efficiency. Facilitate understanding. Facilitate understanding to make comprehension easier. This is to help people grasp ideas or concepts more effectively by simplifying or clarifying information. So example 1, visual aids can facilitate understanding during presentations. So visual aids can facilitate understanding during presentations. Would you agree? I think so. We're actually doing some sort of presentation here, and my visual aids, hopefully, if you're watching and looking at the screen, are helping these things. They're facilitating understanding. So you're using tools like charts, graphs, images during a presentation to help the audience understand the content better. So everything that you see on these visual aids hopefully is helping. Visual aids make abstract or complex ideas sometimes a little more clear and easier to follow. Second example, the teacher's examples facilitated understanding of complex concepts. The teacher's examples facilitated understanding of complex concepts. So in this case, the teacher used practical or relatable examples to explain maybe perhaps difficult ideas, making it easier for students to understand and apply what they learned. Let's hope so. So if the teacher's good, they could facilitate understanding of these complex, very complex concepts. Next one, to generate interest, and that is to create curiosity or enthusiasm. Curiosity or enthusiasm. I like those words. So it's to say to attract attention, to make people excited or intrigued about something. So let's look at the first example. The teaser trailer helped generate interest in the upcoming movie. I would probably call it either a teaser or a trailer, but I wouldn't call it a teaser trailer. So the trailer helped generate interest in the upcoming movie. And this means that there's the short preview made people curious and excited about the movie. We already know what a trailer is, right? It's that nice thing that you see before a movie that gives you like a minute or two of the movie so you get all excited about it, and it generates interest usually. Example 2. The discount offer generated interest among new customers. What do you think? So the discount made the product or service more appealing, maybe sparking a bit of enthusiasm or encouraging people to make those purchases. What do you think? Do discounts and sales, do they inspire you? Do they generate interest in products? Last one, strengthen foundations. So to make the basic principles or structures stronger. To make the basic principles or structures stronger. Another way to think about it is to reinforce the essential elements that support growth or development. Let's look at the first example. Early education is crucial to strengthen foundations for lifelong learning. Let's read that again. Early education is crucial to strengthen foundations for lifelong learning. Example number 2. The training program aimed to strengthen foundations in basic skills. So let's explain this. In this case, the program focused on improving core abilities like maybe communication or teamwork, but maybe by mastering these basics, participants became better prepared for more advanced challenges that were heading their way in their careers or studies. So the training program aimed to strengthen foundation and basic skills. Get those basic skills, guys, so you can build a great foundation and have a nice lifelong journey of learning. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps. Share it with your friends who are also learning English, and don't forget to check out our other playlists for more lessons. I'd love to hear from you. What topics would you like to see in future videos? Drop your ideas in the comments. Let me know where you're taking your English and how I can help. I'm excited to keep learning together, so until next time, keep practicing and above all, have fun.